Rock Tongue Body Spray. Reach for it.
Available at all fine skincare superstores.
Before I even start, big shout out to Nichols for bringing this idea to my mind. We went back and forth about a week ago. I think it was right after the show, and I was intrigued and brewed with it. And not a very super serious deck, but you can have some serious fun with it. Hey, thanks for joining me nice and early as always, my friends. Shirazman and Nim Chimpskey as always. Thank you so much for always helping me out. So we've got 21 lands. Why so many? Well, because we're running foil. And we've got some big things going on here. A lot of fun things. Why are we running this? Well, we've got Spire Golem, but remember this guy? One of my favorite commons from, what am I trying to say? What is it called? Kamigawa. Really, really dig this guy. Counters, has the nice little ability drawback, or not drawback, a benefit. And then once you use them up with a counterspell, then you go get them back with this. Or you can kind of pay for a spicy golem, but this is mostly here. And I dug really deep and I thought about playing all kinds of things under the sun that were artifacts. And it just felt like I was trying too hard. We've got this in the yard, which is a house. I love the design of this card. Fits really well into this shell. We've got a lot of outs here. We've got a lot of counter magic. We're running four spikes and 4 counter spells, 3 think twice, 4 snaps, 4 studies, 2 analysis, the restoration, and foil in our sideboard. Obviously, if we go up against swarms and stuff, we're going to get screwed. So we try to remedy that a little bit with Fade Away, but that's definitely Blue's weakest thing, and sometimes you can hit a home run with this, but the majority of the time, like elves, they can usually pay for it, but sometimes you can catch them with their pants down, so to speak. 4 Macabre as usual, kind of pretty standard. 4 Hydroblast, 2 Dispels, and 2 Annuls. Could probably argue you even go with all red Elemental Blast there and stuff, but 4 spikes tend to get there. So yeah, I tried this deck too after some chat mention. Nice flavor to it. Oh, nice. Goomanoob, I'm not quite sure. I haven't heard anything. I thought Nichols was the only one that I had seen that had mentioned anything about it. So who knows? If so, apologies, because I know what that's like when things go that route. But yeah, it's this little restoration card kind of sneaks past you sometimes. Not one of the things you really salivate on, but when you say blue Reanimator, it's like, it gets you kind of curious and thinking and such. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with the new mono black with the what are they called, the Kahani Gardens. Got a build of that I really like. Really grindy though, way too grindy for one of my streams. I don't I don't roll that way, but yeah, this one's been a lot of fun. It's like one of those lists where you try it out and you're like, yeah, let's see how it does, and then before you know it, you've won like 3 or 4 straight, and you're like, wow, there's kind of something to this when you have a lot of counter magic, because we really have. This is, well, you can't really call this a hard counter, but it feels like one. So we'll call it for argument's sake. So that's 8, 12, 14 hard counters, and kind of ways to bring them back too. Well, no, I guess you can't because they have to hit the battlefield with that one, but it's a pretty cool little card. I'm surprised it doesn't see more play. So good times. I do too, Nim Chimpskey. That restoration art is pretty sweet. Very, very old magic. Not so much old. I mean, old for a lot of people out there, but it feels like, what was the set Factor Fiction? I wouldn't be surprised if this Roger Raup was the Factor Fiction artist. Looks a lot like that. Same sort of color palette and depth of field and such like that. So La Conquista, hey! Yeah, we got your tournament coming up at the end of the month. At the beginning of each show, we've always show that little visual up there. So let's see how we do here. We'll kill this. Go like this. Open up the yard. We'll keep this hand. Yo, here we go. See what we're going to do with some islands and old school cards. 4 spike. The original MTG kick in the crotch. 4 spike. All spike, baby. Okay. Yo, you're welcome. That is what we are about. Sharing is caring and all that stuff. Kind of one of those wait around decks, you know, play at the end of the turn. What were they calling it 3 or 4 years ago? Oops, all instants or whatever. Careful Study kind of breaks that rule, but kind of helps you get through those extra lands and such. Oh, we got a gate. We got a gate. We might be too late. Looking at the calendar. August flying by. You know, that means my favorite holiday's coming soon. Halloween's pretty close. When you like it as much as I do, you count the days. It's like kids with their birthdays and such. Alrighty. Well, I think I'm just going to Careful Study here. We'll lean on Force Spike a little bit more. See what we're going to get. Alrighty. Don't really need that. Got a hard counter. And we can bring this back. Yeah. I'm going to keep our hand of mystery here. It's nice when you have, you know, I'll know what a sucker I am for foil. I love the trickiness of that card. Blue Reanimator. Let's see what we can do. And we will use this when we can. Like so. Whoosh. Get out of here. I could really turn on the pressure if we drop double Golem, but I'm not sure if... that's a pretty fast clock. I'd rather have counter magic, though. Kicked in the ground. Awesome. Alrighty. Let's bring out the standard fare. This used to be such a play back in like 04, 05, and just 2 islands up. Spire Golem beats. Feels very old school, both with the art and everything else. Rising Riptide. Very nice. Just going to keep these critters off the table, so we know what happens when they hit. I don't want to be getting poisoned. And now it's time for something fun. Nope. All right. All right. I'm just going to go all in here. We'll just do a setup turn here. Screw it. Triple Golem. These big fat flyers, man, they got such a big backside that outside of swamps, a lot of times everything you play kind of hits, and before you know it, you kind of whittle people down to some pretty respectable depth of damage. All right, all right. 3 of them. How come I never draw 3 Blighted Agents? Good grief. I'm excited to see the fights tonight on ESPN Plus. Dominic Cruz, one of my favorite old fighters, is fighting. I guess we just attack here. It's got 3 turns. Attack! I think it's probably best to just wait on snap and do a think twice EOT. Again, Careful Study, not there for any sort of combination lock. I mean, it can happen, but I don't mean lock. I just mean combination. But when you have extra lands, a lot of times you can pitch them. It's good times. Serum Visions. I wonder why. Maybe things are getting too expensive. I haven't been... Hey, I don't... Wait. Conway. Hey, excited to catch a stream. Hey, we're excited to have you. And sorry if I butchered your name there. Acquisition Octopus. What a cool name. After negative 2 years away, I am grinding a league. I missed Pauper. Well, they missed you. Good to have you back. As always, I've been playing a lot of leagues. If you follow, I haven't done very well. I keep getting 3-2s. But I don't do worse than that. But I don't do better than that. If you follow the communication tab on YouTube, I think I overdid it. I had like 3 or 4 screen grabs in a row where I was like, just kind of as proof, like, look, I'm not making this shit up. Sorry. It's like the 3rd time I've ever sworn on the stream. If any kids out there listening, don't do that. Don't piss your parents off. I almost followed up with another, right? Alrighty. I think we'll just leave that. He can hit us. We'll think twice. Try to play nice. I try to keep it family friendly. Oh, they've had enough of our counter shenanigans, eh? Alrighty. Well, we'll think twice about that, won't we? I'm more than likely to grab a land here, but let's keep things nice and simple. Turn off the threat for a turn. Which should give us 2 turns, unless they've got another one of those things coming down. And I'll spike it. That's what we're playing this for. Cause all these little thwarty moves. Doink! For spike, the original Dispel. Brought to you by Pissed Off Players. Now we have no options. I'm going to think twice, main. Let's hit a land. Alright. There's nothing in our yard, but if one of our dudes dies, we can bring it back. It's not the most optimal play, but it is nice to be able to get a Spire Golem back from the yard. 4 is quite a bit to pay for them usually, unless it's turn 2. Man, I'm already out of coffee. Speaking of coffee, we've got that little link page if anybody ever wants to support the show. That's a good way to do it. What were we up against here? That's just gates. The mirror. All right, let's see. I don't really have any land issues. I don't think I'm going to be doing too much. I've got enough counterspell. I'm just going to play it back, guys. Bloop. Here we go. Layman, one Russ. Nice to hear from you. Thank you for the sub, my friend. Awesome. Yeah, we do the sub thing. And then I don't have one of those Patreon things, but I do have a thing called Buy Me a Coffee. I do the ad every once in a while and stuff, but sometimes people throw some ticks there or want to play a league or whatnot with your brew and have it discussed with the community. There's a good spot for it. All right, well, we've got this and this. I really want to have a careful study show up so I can throw it in the yard. We've got early counterspell and draw, so I'll keep it. It's not the greatest hand, but, you know, got 3 lands, got stuff to do. I'm not going to complain too much. I still want to know if this is where the Seagate Oracle is from. Yeah, I thought Dispel too, but we've got so much counter magic. I didn't want to get too clogged up there. Alrighty, here we go. Oh man, I saw the best horror movie. I was very surprised how good it was. It was called The Black Phone. It's with Ethan Hawke, and I started hearing nothing but good things about it, and so I'm like, all right, here we go. And I was pleasantly surprised. Reminded me of Silence of the Lambs in a weird way, mixed with Ted Bundy. Which, I think I've mentioned this on the show. My sister-in-law was picked up by Ted Bundy. Terrifying ordeal, the way she tells it. It was her and her girlfriend, but he was missing seat, fake arm cast and all. They found out about it about a couple weeks later, and could only reason that maybe it was because there were 2 of them that no shenanigans of the evil persuasion went down. Yeah, it was a trip. In fact, Dan Horning, the old MTG Strat collaborator from way back when Pauper first was getting its roots, all he does is podcasts out of Sweden now based on serial killers. And so I told him, I was like, hey, I can get you a pretty cool interview, but she doesn't speak the lingo. Oh, thank you, Nim Chimpskey. Appreciated that. All right. Well, we got our stuff going down. Now, I think it's worth waiting on Counterspell because we've always got Think Twice. It's one of the, for you kids out there, it's one of the oldest combos in Pauper. Again, combo in quotes. It's not really a combo. I've just got diarrhea of the mouth. You know, you sit back and if they do anything, you counter it. If they don't, you draw. It's Pauper's early days, I tell you. Got some beautiful art to look at, though, I tell. Gonna make these a little bit bigger. Yeah, it was crazy. Do we try it now? I think we do. Let's get rid of it. Hi! How many Blighted Agents are they running? Alrighty. There's the spears. The spears. I guess that's how you could say that really quickly and incorrectly. No. Let's go. Oh, and then Windows had some update. Nothing to do with magic, but I couldn't believe it. Like I went to like one of my sub screens and the maximize minimize window's gone. It's like, oh, we'll just make it X. It's like, yeah, that's convenient. Now I have to squint and pull menus down. It's just maddening. I've almost never seen an update that I liked. It's just stuff always gets worse, crappier. Like, what were they thinking? Why'd they make this hard to find? Why'd they put this feature that you need all the time buried in submenus? It drives me nuts. Okay, one of these is probably enough. Throw this back. Bring this back out. Or can we? No, we can't. Let's snap it while we can. We've seen a lot of counter magic from our opponents, so I'm just going to keep them in Frustrationville and make them think that we're on a counter spell, which we're not, but we might draw on one. So cool to bring back Stitchwing EOT, but we're 1 mana shy. Plague Stinger! Alright, we'll pull this off, see if this works. Given the amount of counter magic we've seen, it might not. Alrighty. Tempted to just throw that analysis out, but cool. Well, we can at least study, throw analysis out, bring back Stitchwing, EOT. That's pretty cool. We got enough islands here. We can pitch one of them. That feels pretty good. Yeah, let's get rid of this and this. Bloop. Now we've got our cool little tricks. See our yards? It's almost like a blue bully. Look at that. We can bring back Stitchwing. We can think twice. We can deep analysis. We got all kinds of options. Put the red in the house. Medicine 1. I love me some infect. Love, 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 love. It does. But then it untaps and starts doing blue lightning bolts. Watang! Good times. What are we looking at here? I might want to start paying attention. Essence Infusion. Put 2 counters on a creature. And lifelink? Ugh. Somebody didn't think Fangs was good enough. Man. We might be getting in trouble. The better play might be to just draw, but if I draw dead, I mean, it's not like we can block. But we do need to get some sort of offense going, so let's bring this out. Discard 2 cards. Wah, wah, wah. Whoop. The stage 4 spikes pretty dead. Stitchwing. Love the quote on this thing, too. Oh, of course. Where'd it go? There it is. Ha! Improvement is a consequence. Come on, quit fighting me. Improvement is a consequence of practice. Sounds like something Darth Vader would say. All right, let's start trying to find some stuff. Actually, let's just do a deep analysis here. We're not really worried about our life total. Cool. Very cool. Yes, that was pretty optimal. Sitting behind counter magic, we got a 4-turn clock. Well, 4 plus. I'm not hitting for 5 this turn. Maths. So yeah, I went pretty hard in the paint with the first couple attempts at this and really trying to abuse the restoration, but ended up kind of not being worth it. I'm not really worried about the life gain. I just don't want those counters on there, so I'm going to try to counterspell that. I got 3 cards left. Probably going to get hit with a Spell Pierce here. Nope, Dispel. A more honest Spell Pierce. That's big. I just love everything about this card. It's one of those build-around cards, like maybe not even in 3 or 4 years, but in 10 years there might be like some, that needs to be banned because there's going to be some new madness, something or other. Be pretty sweet. Ha! I guess you could play Seat of the Synod too, but then you run into the foil problem with islands. It's not worth it. If you're restoring a a seat, I don't think you're winning the game, right? All right, we've got like 1 turn left. We can counter an ability, which is pretty cool. I can I wish I could just cycle that. You have to have a target, unfortunately. So, wah, wah, wah. Coming on in for 5. Hey, Pauper Tim. Not able to stick around? Maybe hop in and out. All right, good to have you with us, my friend. Thanks for joining. Ha! I got the coffee steam up my nose, mist going on. Ah, all right. Well, we can almost hard cast that thing. I have done that in the past. Let's sit on that. We've got 1 more turn. This crab might be relevant. We really need one of our snaps to show up. Oh, they're gonna shut the door. They got the gate going on. Hey, look at this. Oh, counter it. Watang! If today was for anything, it was for that play. That's fun. But they can just pay 3, so it's a little unremarkable. Yep. And we go down. But we got the crab in the yard. All right, we're 1-1. I'm sure there's somebody somewhere on YouTube at a later date just going, what? You know, that's what I first said when I saw the crab's ability. I was like, wait a minute. That's like, what is that? Mental Misstep? What's the one that does that? Stifle? And shows my age. I want to say Inextended. Remember that format? Pauper Tim sure does. All right. We're going to an honest game 3. Here we are. I love playing rogue stuff. There's such a higher energy level when I do. Well, that's starting to feel pretty good, that idea of the dispels. Let me bring in 2 dispels and I'll lose 2 force spikes. Still keep our counter magic where it's at. They know 4 spikes come in. It's not that big of a deal. So let's try this, shall we? Yeah, copper. There we go. Fun list. All right. Well, we've got a snap, which I like. We don't have any threats, but we can dig like crazy, so I'll keep. Plus, we got the analysis here, so I've always liked careful study. And then they went and made Faithless Looting. What were they thinking? It is true. They're not hypocrites. They are slowly giving other colors a lot of stuff. I sure wish they'd give green a little bit more draw. I know way back they started with the Umbra, and I know recently they've got the Visionary and the Owlbear. They're making slow strides. Like I've always said, it's a good thing I'm not in card design. I'd probably ruin Magic in under a year. Synod Restoration. They had a good point, like, would you play Reconstruction in this list? No. And that's also Pauper legal, but just bringing something back to your hand isn't the point. Your premier restoration company. From Synod Seats to Synod Sanctums. We restore Maraudin's best. Very nice. Discard 2 cards. Hey, this is cool. Let's do stuff and make it look like we know how we're playing Magic. Woo! Good times. Stitchwing. Something about this reminds me of like 80s cartoons. It looks just like some villain in Thundercats or Transformers or something. Phyrexian Smudge. Don't be a kludge. Synod Restoration does it all. I was just having the voiceover done for Glenthawk Security, which is my latest attempt. I'm really tempted to throw that study back here. That's analysis here. I don't want to miss a land drop. Me, please. Plus he's tapped out. I've got Snap Dispel. Okay, that's honest. I can at least study and throw the other study out if worst comes to worst. I'd like to find one of those crabs and get a big old fat wall 5/7 smasher. Not many blue artifacts or artifacts that, you know, I sure wish, I always make that mistake thinking that Olmog's Crusher is an artifact. I'm like, no, it is not. I've made that mistake many a times. Yeah, I tried out Opt. I didn't like it. That's for sure. I like how sneaky those gates are. You're like, no big deal. And then all of a sudden, whop! And you're like, whoa! We had another land. I'm just going to Stitchwing EOT. Almost no matter what, because we've got Snap and Dispel and Counterspell. So this is feeling pretty good. And again, this isn't any deck to just like, oh, I'm going to go 5-0 with this thing. But it's a lot of fun. It's one of those kind of reset your own mana, creativity and stuff, and have a lot of fun. But it does get there because of the counter magic. You could say no to a lot of the stuff your opponent's doing, and you're hitting for 3, 4, 5, 10 in the air sometimes, and boom. Oh no, Shiraz. The blue screen of death. Well, you didn't miss much. Hopefully we can blue screen our opponent by going crazy here. We'll just do this now. Whoop. Discard 2 cards. I want everything in my hand, so I'll get rid of that and that, believe it or not. Bloop. Here we go. Game 3. Yep, we got gated. We had the counter spell. They had the counter for the counter. And then we countered their ability, patted ourselves on the back, and then realized they had just enough to pay for the crab's alternate costs. So that's all you missed. A bunch of that shenanigans going on, I tell you. All right, we've got all the counter magic in the world. And we got 7 turns to get there. Let's go. 3. Blue lightning bolt, number 1. PCs, all kinds of computers, they're so finicky. It's like if you leave one, you think if you left a computer off for like a few weeks, it would be like, hey, I'm back. Nice video. Nope. And it doesn't even have to do with updates or anything. It's just, it's some weird ghost in the machine. After a computer's old enough, it just stops. It's like an old age or something. It's just this, zest is gone. Or it's weird. All right, I'm just going to try to keep the field clear. We're upgrading Avid at work. They're trying to make it look newer. And again, it's just these features that it's like, we don't need that. We do not need that. That's what that would sound like on the battlefield. Just a colossal slow up, slow down. All right, we've got enough of everything. I'm going to keep this back in case we do draw one of our 2 foils. I mean, we can hard cast it now, but it's nice to have the option. And Spire Golem's only going to cost us 1 if we drop it. So, you know what? I'm going to drop it just because of spell pierce and such. I wish we were hitting with a little more heft, but we're not. With double snap and the mana to do it, I think I'm going to say that now. I think I'm going to wait till they just completely tap out and use all their gate mana and stuff like that. All right, well, that can block, and then it'll turn our neuter our dude into a 2/3, but here we go. If he wants to block, that's fine. Hey, cool. This hand just keeps getting better. That's what careful studies will do. Get rid of the crap. Why'd you put it in the first place? Well, you do need islands. All right, this restoration is just staring at us, trying to make us admire its artwork while it does nothing. So Chid 3 playing a really interesting list the other day. That sentence doesn't faze me at all. It's like it's almost a given. Reanimator with First Spear, Unearthling with Dragon Fang, Dragon Shadow, Dragon... Yeah, I've got a list similar. I think everybody does. I'm sure his is pretty cool. Yeah, what did I call it? That was God, that was a while ago. I had quite a run. 3-2 or better, like 3 or 4 outings with a that ran a similar engine. But gosh, that was back in like 2016, I think. Craziness. Okay, is he gonna go for the kill here? You kind of would have to, wouldn't they? Snap it. Good news here. They use their counter magic on this. We counter, and then they don't have the mana to play for it, so it buys us 2 turns. Dive down. No, I don't want to counter that. I don't really want to snap it either. I guess we take the damage. Alright, we're half dead. So are they. Hey! Good times, everybody. Where was that last turn? 3 and 2. We can snap. We can do all kinds of things. Let's try to do it now. Shall we? 3 cards up. Snap. Are the gates gonna get us? Maybe they will. This crab isn't feeling very good against a slower deck too. Alright. Won't counter that, otherwise we're just dead. Get out of here. Give us our land back, please. Boop, boop. Attack! Raw. I actually didn't see too much streaming this week because I was so busy at work. Ducat! I love Pauper! Nice. Good to have you with us. Alrighty. Well, I'll let that go. Let's see what they're going to show us. Same. Alright. Got a preordain in the house. There it is. Our Mirrorshell Crab will work this time. Stitchwing doing some work. Maybe I should put gates in this. Mono blue gates. I've done crazier things. That's for sure. Alright, let's see if this goes here. 1, 2, 3. Hi! It isn't. I think they have Dispel. That'd be funny. It's like, counter a creature? Wait, does that work? No. Mono blue Reanimator, you are correct, sir. Getting owned by Gates at the moment. Dun 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 dun. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Whoa! 4 mana for a 5/7 with Ward 3. Pretty cool, especially after it's counter Dispel. A very relevant spell, mind you, because they could block. And they're getting into that life zone here. Oh man, I really want to draw deep analysis here. Pointed at my opponent's head. Won't. Just kidding. Man, I get the money I need to buy this IRL. Confuse my playgroup. Oh, in real life. Good times. Wow, that got big. Oh, the list will be coming shortly. We've got a link to it. You can just download it right from the site there. And I always like to do it that way. People send me a lot of lists, sometimes hand-typed, and I'm just like, oh, I got to go through each one of these. I'm like, use a thing like MTG Goldfish, or there's thousands of them out there, and then you can just literally right-click, download the list, upload, save you like 50 minutes of searching for cards, and then you're off to have some fun. Yeah, you thought better of it, didn't you, Bolus? I'll tell ya. Double for Spike. Double Basilisk. What's that? Jeez. 10 damage. We can take it. Attack! Mr. Sorcery Speed answer. Let's go. Yeah, Chid 3's got some really cool stuff too. For sure. The blue Reanimator. Whoa! Well, just to keep it alive, I guess. Alright. Pretty cool. I like our opponent's in blocking mode, though, but God, these are some big creatures. Will it get there? I think it will. Oh, for sure, Ducat. Yeah. Yeah, one of our friends to the stream, Nichols, sent me a list, and I was intrigued because, I'll be honest, I just forgot about the Restoration card, and I was like, whoa! And I've been wanting to abuse that crab since I saw it. I really thought that would see more play. But I'm making up for it today. All right. They are just digging for that Plague Stinger to just stay alive for a turn. We might be able to counter it, depending on how many more cantrips they burn through here. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Pauperganda, always Saturday, always 9 a.m., always bald, and hopefully always entertaining. You can always count on us for weird rogue lists. That's how you discover the next big thing, I tells ya. But yeah, that horror movie was pretty good, so I don't recommend many, but I recommend that one. All right, we start off with a double. I'll go over the list here for those that have joined a little bit late as we go. Hey, there we go. Bam, boom. So yeah, these are our creatures. 4 of these. Grand total of 12. We've got some good counter magic here. 2 foils, 4 of the others, and then, this counts as counters too. We've got quite a bit of draw, 2 deep analysis, 3 think twice, and then we've got force snap for anything that slips through the cracks. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Really, really fun little list. Just going to jump on over here and go for the ropes. Create. Hiya. I should have done that before we went over to the shenanigans here. Yeah, obviously somebody brings in like a swarm, elves, goblins, that sort of thing. Outside of like a really heavy force spike opening hand, don't think you'd probably get there. They'd run you over and pay a little compensation to that lack of thing in what do you call a fade away. But all right, cool. We'll keep this. I don't know what's better, a force spike or a careful study. I think I'll wait on careful study and we'll just drop the spike. Oh, mana traders, bummer. I don't even. Is that where you like rent the cards? Is that what that is? I've heard of some of those services before, but we chose poorly. Absolutely nothing to do now. In that situation, opt would have been better. We will study. We can still lean on the other. See ya, Stitchwings. Whoosh. Opponent's like, what on earth? Tell you can get in a pretty competitive Pauper, like the Blackburn lists and stuff with not much money. So then you're kind of stuck with one deck, but you can slowly build from there. There's some surprisingly awesome decks that are very budget friendly. Still, I know a lot of people like to sing the blues and like everything's so expensive. It's still Pauper, people. We still got plenty of options. Talk about options. At this stage, we'll probably pitch Think Twice and Force Spike if nothing happens EOT, but I'll probably be countering something. Maybe a little too eager to bring out my Stitchwings there. How cool would it be? Somebody drops a spell bomb and you just bring the Stitchwing back in response. It's such a weird thing to be able to do. All right, they foretold, and we will foresee a Stitchwing. Boink. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Tempted. I want to be able to. We're looking at like some sort of ramp strategy here, and because of that, our lands might not be the best thing to get rid of. But I'm still gonna risk it. Let's go. Sitting on double counters. All right, it paid off. Here we go. Smack. I guess we could bring it back again. 6 in the air. That'd be pretty great. Got to keep that snap for the big old dragon. Dragon. A dinosaur. I wish it was a dragon. Dinosaur shouldn't be in Pauper. Change the creature type. Down it comes. Yeah, I can race that. We're already ahead. Not too worried about anything on the ground. Plus our Spire Golem, once it shows up, graces us with its presence. They're a little mana screwed here, so we'll kill that. Especially since we can think twice. It feels fun to like thwart them on their mana since they're probably trying to blow up our lands and such. Boy, we could go super aggro here. Throw out our whole hand and come at them for 6 in the air. Oh man, what do you guys think? That's so risky. We might just draw dead after that, right? It's so nice having that snap, but boy, that big flyer is so far away. Oh, do it. Think twice. I'm going to think twice. I'll think twice about it. All right, here we go. This turn for sure, I tell you. Oh, we got options. I'll throw that crab out if anything. Man, that's a good card against this deck. Dude, that can just take those pirates and just be like, what? Chomp. Just cut their feet out. Too much to do. That's why we're playing 21 basics. You don't want to miss your drops. And then when you get too many of them, after turn 10 or so, you start pitching them to either the Stitchwing or Careful Study. I feel like I want to tie this dude's mana up. I gotta play discipline. Keep that snap back. Blue Reanimator. What on earth? Should we snap that? Nah, we'll let it go. All right, let's bring Stitchwing out to play. Boop, boop. Whoa, he's back. It's almost like they have haste. If you just click real fast, you can delude yourself into thinking that's true. Where's our restoration now? We could get our big old fat cow out of the yard. It's playing pretty good, but our opponent is definitely hiccuping on land here, so let's turn off these life chances. No. Whoosh. No life for you. One of my favorite cards in green. So much so I made a spoof store where most of our fake products are sold. Marassa's Market. Let's go, Copper. What you got? I wish I had one more land. Four mana has been attained. What is coming down here? On the top of my library. I don't like the sound of that. I'd rather draw a card. Should I snap my own guy? That's one of them. I guess we could just draw again. That's all right. I mean, we're going to draw that. And all right, that's fine. They're just trying to stay alive. Gotcha. Let's keep any offense off the board. Could have snapped that a long time ago, but they are going to hit their mana eventually, so I want to make sure I've got options here. I'm going to think twice right now. Give me a land. Nope. Okay. Very crucial little turn there. Might mean the game if they can just start coming back now, like when the pirate comes down and starts putting us in a little world of hurt. Got 2 turns. Got Temporal Spring. Must be having a Muldrifter engine. I guess that would be fun to cascade into, right? We're almost in single-digit town. Got to be careful. What is this new devilry? Oh, look at this. This is really setting us back now. Brutal. All right. I'm going to snap here. I'll sit back on crab magic. No way to get it out of our hand. Careful Study'd be a really good draw. Sure has made it interesting, though. I thought we were running away with this. I think my initial all-in was probably the right move. That's one more mana. I'll let him have it. I fear what comes next more than that. I'm an aggro player at heart. I should have listened to my hunches. Trying to do the right thing, man. Yeah, let's not do that for a lot of reasons. Not because we have it, but also because we do need our land, and that's going to stop them from promoting themselves. Take that, land that usually has tons of mana to pay for stuff. What? All right. That was weird. Well, Force Spike's going to be a little unfavorable here because they have so much mana. So I'm going to lose those. I do like... I don't think Annul's going to be worth it. I'll bring in Dispel and like 3 blasts. And we'll see how this feels. Yeah! What was that? Okay. That's an expensive play, but see how it works with foil? Able to discard another card, and so it's one of my other discard outlets. I like it. Again, it's just a very honest control hand. It's like there's plenty of ways around it. Uh-oh, don't like that. Might have to use that foil. It'd be funny, like you're trying to counter a land destruction spell by pitching one of your lands. It's like, wait a minute. How's this work? In that scenario, I wish there was some creatures that were technically islands. That would be really cool in Pauper, so you could use them on foil. Alrighty, they are foretelling something, and this looks like probably a land enchantment. Oh, alright, cool. We have 2 lands! Hooray! Mono blue tempo hype! Yeah, I've been having some fun with this list this morning. 1-0 so far, and not anything to brag about, though. Alright. We're just Mr. Counterspell here. Stitchwing's my new best friend. I love that card. I think initially everybody wanted to throw Basking Root Wallas in, right? For the 1 time in 6 that it's relevant to get a 1/1 that dies to everything. Just because the cards match doesn't mean they belong in the list. Ooh, this is looking big and scary, whatever's coming at us now. Probably hard casted that. All right, well, oh, stop that from going down. Boop, boop. Keep our lands where they're at, please. It's surprising how effective land destruction still is in a format where almost every other land is indestructible. Ah, come on, list. Let's go. All right, we're just chilling out. Yeah, blue Reanimator. But to do it, we've got to get some more lands, which we have 21 basics. You think we wouldn't be screwed. If anything, we should be flooded, but you've all heard me call that song and dance before. Here goes my customary nervous sit on my leg. I can always snap that. I don't want to get thermokarsted here. Or worse. There's always worse. Alrighty. That be true, yep. The Basilisk. I still have yet to even sleeve up, even digitally, a gate list. I'm such a contrarian. Everybody's doing it, so I don't want to. Stop with these shenanigans. This guy would focus on his board. We'd be dead by now. Like they're trying to be aggro and a finicky little like tempo list. Oh, I love seeing Careful Study right here. Whew. Ah, such a clean feeling. All right, Stitchwing and Crab go bye-bye. We play this. We've got foil bait now. Woo! That'll set him back a whole turn. What am I going to want to pitch some stuff too, though. Get that Stitchwing online. I can at least block the Packmate. What do we have here? Alright, enough of this crap. We're going to snap. Let's keep some things alive. Untap this and this. And we're going to discard this, discard an island, and something else. That. Foiled. Don't want to lose any tempo here. We're probably going to have to throw out snap. So here comes back you know who. Tempo Play City. Enough of this crab. Pretty sure we know what that card is. It's something I haven't played too much of either. Those foretelling cards. All right. Well, we can We can Stitchwing EOT. That might have been a misplay. I don't know. The careful study, whatever we draw, we pretty much have to pitch. And we don't have restoration. But no, I think this is the right play line, whatever you want to call it. All right. Down it comes. Bought us about 3 turns with that snap. Will it be enough? Haven't seen the pirate. Maybe this is just Simic with no red. All these assumptions might be on me. What shall we see? Yikes! Well, we better do it while we can. Stitchwing. Discard. Careful not to snap there. You can't do the Stitchwing ability. Well, we got a clock. Bad news is they got a bigger one and a lot more resources. We won the first game, but it looks like we're going to be losing game 2. Land restoration to the crab would be pretty sweet. We could just pick them apart in the air. I don't know where our Spire Golems have been hiding. Is it worth 3 damage? I think we sit back. I'm not going to win any race on 3 to 5 here. At least we force them to try to have some sort of an answer. I'm sure they have one. Probably Flame Slash with the cards I'm seeing so far. Scred. Oh, duh. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. All right. We don't draw land or something super relevant. It's time to scoop. 3 Arbor Elves. Green Lightning Bolt. Double green. Smackdown. Tonight at the Coliseum. See the packmate off the top rope with an assist from the Arbor Elf. And that will shut the door. I'm just going to write the L here, see what we draw, and then we'll scoop and go to game 3. I need some more coffee. Whoop. Yeah, but we don't have any fodder to toss. All right. Can't see game. Let's go to game. Well, we did see a Scred, so... However, I think I'd rather just lean on a Dispel there. Yeah. Let's try that. I don't know where these guys have been hiding. I'm only running 4 of them. So many games, they win you. So far, it's been all Stitchwing all the time. It is a sexy card, though. Just oozes design. There he is. There's our friends again. We'll keep... No restoration in sight. But I still want to mix and match these abilities here. Although, there's an argument to keep that crab back and just use it as the counter. I think I'm going to roll that way. We'll study here. And we'll pitch 2 wings. Whoop. Man, that's a fat hand. Double Stitchwing. Lotto Carnage. Sup, peeps? Thanks for chiming in and joining us. We're playing Blue Re-Animator. Trying to anyway. We're up a game. Seeing how we can do with this... spicy beast as we completely stall out here. We so need a land. Like I said, we have 21 basics, but this is how streaming goes. You put in more lands, and that's when you get screwed. You take them out, you get flooded. I know it makes no sense, but this game doesn't adhere to those universal rules. Hey, it's almost like it's trying to spite me, isn't it? Alrighty, I think EOT Stitchwing's better and sit back on the crab counter. Mr. Krabs. Any SpongeBob fans out there? Everybody always talks about, especially the business I'm in, all these Hollywood celebrities and big-time movie actors and stuff. Some of the richest people in the business are voiceover actors or anybody that's got a syndicated something or other under them, like the SpongeBob voice actor. That guy could probably buy a small country. Alrighty, let's go. It's nice when we have options here. We'll get rid of the crab and a wing. It sounds like I'm ordering dinner for my family. I'll have the crab. I'll have the wing. Let's go for it. I'm going to just try to shut the door here. We know they got Scred. Our guys are really big. I'll sit back on that later, but for right now, it's just smackdown time. They're stalling out. They've already pitched one of the resources that can do anything against our flying armada. So we'll see what we can roll with here. catch the top of the show, we do that frog tongue body spray odor armor. Pay very close attention to the scents because they're all magic cards. So the flying team is looking good. I'm really liking it so far. We'll be back. I'm gonna go grab some coffee. I suggest you do the same, and I'll be back right after a few of these custom commercials. Enjoy.
Our students have a mental power and toughness that is always changing, endlessly experimenting with the latest and cutting-edge research. Our understanding continually evolves with over 200 arcane laboratories. They are shaped in clinics and grafted in the real world. From careful studies basics to full ISIT certification, we teach it all. Our campus is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ravnica. If you're dedicated to nature and science, Simic University is for you. Simic University, we don't just teach evolution, we evolve.
And we're back. Let's do this. Woo, coffeeed up, bladdered out. Woo. Yes. All right. 2 islands. Again, honest, counter, keep, hype. Let's go. Love me some fake kung fu experts. Mirrorshell, we bring it back with Restoration. Argivian Restoration. It's blue Re-ANIMATOR. It's an artifact, and so it comes back. But so far, the most things coming back has been the Stitchwing. I think we got 1 crab out, didn't we? Yeah. That's right. That auger almost traded with it. That's right. Alrighty. What was it? That was just ramp. And here we go. Yeah, nope. You think it would pay off playing 4 force spikes that you might see one in your opening hand, but so far, so not. It's happened once or twice, I believe. Forests get me nervous with this list because forests tend to go wide. I like this guy's avatar. Yep, this is not going to be a good match. This will probably be our first loss. Could be walls. We haven't seen walls too often lately. Quite a few, you know what's being in the we can probably get there. That damn reach is going to be a problem though, especially if it's got a Timber Watch backup. I got some snaps and counters to have something to say about that. Tempted. Do I just snap now and then just counter that Sentinel and just really try to thwart their development here? Something tells me to do that. I'm going to do it. Counter their creature with reach, maybe. Thwart their development. I'll have to really hold on that second snap, though, for if it is elves with Timberwatch and such. Let's see what comes down here. I put 4 buttons on wall. Bonk. I'm just going to try to thwart development. Yes, my hunch was right. Just like in chess, I'm a very hunch player. Let's get the power team going. Represent 10 turns you got, baby. I like that. Place your bets. Now Rakdos Betting House. I have done a graphic for that for the horse race, of which Cooper the Red was attending. Dead weight is dead last. Oh, darn it. All right, Mr. Snappity Snap. I'll keep you back. What a strange opening sequence. Yep, it's elves. We're going to lose. We've got 3 Hail Mary cards against them, but unless they're hydroblasted, drinking lots of gin and tonic, we're not going to be long for this world. I can almost guarantee, like, if I, at the beginning of the show, let's say I don't know, playing a red deck or whatever, and I'm like, well, one thing we don't want to see is blank, you know, that, well, always see it. You have to. It will happen. We've got another counter in our crab. We'll at least get him in the yard, and if we top deck Restoration, we'll be pretty hard to kill until either Vanguard or Timberwatch show up. Maybe I should run Merfolk Looter. Nah, we got plenty of ways to discard, especially once a Stitchwing is in the yard. It's just getting them there. We can just hardcast it if we draw another island here. I think I'll go that route. That's a very quick clock. Big bodies in the air. It's amazing they can fly. I think that every time I see an airplane go by. I'm like, I've had it explained to me by scientists through and through. Same with rain. I'm like, water's heavy. How does it get up there? They explain it and I nod my head and I think I understand. Then I think about it again and I'm like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Let's just call it magic, shall we? As Pratchett said, the source of all magic, a true sorcerer. I always love that. 1, 2, 3, get out of here. He's like, what on earth am I playing against? A wizard's nothing. If you're the source of magic, then you're a sorcerer. Wink, wink. Pauper Tim might like that. Bad magic dad jokes. That's what you tune in for, right? Since having been employed better part of the year, it's funny how little spam calls I'm getting compared to when I had my resume out and about. Very nefarious. I think all those like Zip recruiters and such. I think they're going to find out that they're just mining your info. Well, we can do quite a bit of stuff. It's just not on our turn. Well, this hard cast a foil here. Opponent's going to be like, what? I just got Mirrorshelled and foiled? At this stage, while we're running 21 basics, maybe it should be 22. I feel like I want to get that Stitchwing down. Make an honest zombie out of that horror. I got Snap for any mistakes, but until then, we're just going to lean on foil and 8 more turns. Really want to drop that Stitchwing. Got to be careful of life critters too. This deck doesn't hit hard enough to really be able to compete with well-wishers and such. It's a problem. Elves has like 12 must counter answers for some strategies, and that's one of them. Let's get rid of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a hard counter. Watch, I drop Rewind next. You know what card needs to come back is Quicksand. Nobody's playing that anymore. I used to really lean on those heavily in a lot of builds that don't have much removal. There's no protection spell from lands. All right, I like that. I'm just going to get this on board. I rarely do this, but it stops their attack, and it really speeds up this clock to 3 turns after this turn. Thanks again for joining me, everybody. I always look forward to Saturdays hanging out with the Pauper crews. Showing you some of my new brews. And as it sits today, playing with cards that have lots of blues. I really hate that Snap artwork. One of the few times I don't favor the old art. I think I have 3 of the other one. I just keep forgetting to get that 4th and giving my other ones away or something. Yeah, it's not so much the sum of the... Well, it is the sum of the parts, meaning this deck's ability to kind of win. It's, you know, it's tough to kill creatures with evasion, and everything else counters stuff. So when your opponent has that one little, I'm coming... Nope. And that's... So you look up and you're just like, God, man, this thing kind of wins. It's It's a lot of fun. Don't be a life spell. Don't be a life spell. Let's probably look at a bunch of cards spell. What do we got? The Meet in a Tavern, or is it Liz Alana? I'm going to say Liz. Hey! I wish I could make money on calling cards. Got like about an 80% average on it. You should when you've played as much as I have. But even when it's 50-50, I tend to get it right. I've got another really stupid, I don't even know, skill. I wouldn't put it on a resume. My brother and I always like to think about things that we're really good at that are something you should not mention, are terrible. But whenever I'm given a lot of keys, like a key ring or something, my first guess is always the right one for the lock. It's a really stupid ability. The other thing I can do quite well is find people in department stores, like big ones, in very quick time. Two very stupid facts I'm sure you tuned in for just to hear, right? All right, there's nothing we really have to get rid of, so let's just turn on the 3-turn here and pretend that we've got answers. We've got half an answer, but yeah, my brother he's really good at lighting, like just mood lighting and things like that, and he's in the sciences and stuff. Never needs to use it, but he always does a good job of it. And you think of a department store almost like a chessboard, and start coming up with the most efficient ways to kind of lock off aisles or get little eye line of sights, and then pure hunch sometimes too, and just bam, found the person. Long ago, when I was still in high school, I shadowed a security guard at just typical department store that I worked at, and one of the biggest thieves that we caught often were old ladies. They would come in and they would peruse the lipsticks and expensive makeups, and they would buy a houseplant. Seems innocent enough. But then when the guy enlightened me into the subterfuge that they were doing, they were pushing all of these expensive $30, $40 products into the soil of the plant and buying like a $4 or $5 plant and leaving with it. And it was quite a racket. It's like a old folks home scam going on, because it was for about a month there. We caught 3 or 4 ladies. Like they're definitely like some thieving old lady coffee group. Hey, that'd be a good name for a band. Gotta try to keep the banter up. Well, 3, 4, 5. I've gotta play disciplined here. That's a lot of damage, but we're still alive. Old lady's Breaking Bad, yeah. You could do something with a funny like cane with the logo. Good thing about the older generation, they're pretty hard to offend. Oh, I haven't heard that one, Whiskey Fool. There's a lot of them. I don't like that. Are we dead next turn to a straight up attack? 3, 4, 5, 6. We are. Let me snap this before I get 2 creatures out. Of course, he can just query in if it's really that important. If he wants to block with this Sentinel, that's cool. It will screw up our clock, but we'll be alive. Boy, I really want to drop that Restoration. Yeah, we got a foil. Here it comes. Ready? Wah, wah, wah. Okay. Hey, we can do stuff. Wow, we're 1 mana away from that being relevant. I'll drop it. They could probably pay for it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ha! Come on, Sentinel. What's up? Maybe with the counter with this crab, we might be able to Draw enough of their resources that we can survive for another 2 turns instead of just 1. La Conquista! If you're still in the house, Nim Chimpskey's got a question for you. I'm sure you saw it with the @ there. Yeah, I gotta look into that and see if I'm free that day. It's a Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember. Alright, let's focus. Oh, elves. Still game 1. Wow, our opponent's down a lot in time. I looked at our clock and was like, oh, it's happening. Working on getting my stream set up. Yeah, it's a big undertaking. Hats off to anybody trying to do that. Once you get it down, like anything, you know, and then it's kind of turnkey after that and you understand things a little bit better and such. But yeah, those first outings can be rough. All right. Let's see what we're up against here. If we just draw into a snap, we're going to be fine. I don't see anything I'm too worried about. Should have cleared that out before. Yeah, you just come at me with everything and tap that Sentinel. I don't know why he's not just untap it with the Ranger and get in max damage, but alright. Oh, it's Saturday. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it might... That's the case. Do you know what time Pacific Standard Time it is? Like if it's a few hours after my show, I'll definitely be able to play, but I'm sure Aaron will want to jump in. Might have a surge of late entries. That show will make sure to really mention it because day of, you know, a lot of times people will be like, hey, I'm free later. It's got its own ban list though, so that's really cool. If you're feeling a little thwarted on certain things, it's good times. Should I counter this ability? I can do it. I can do it. Should I do it? That's silly. I should just counter whatever he brings out. After the show. Woo! Damn it. Wish I would have done that. All right. They've got some trick up their sleeves, don't they? It's like a... Given the metagame, they might be leaning on Weather the Storm. Wow, did we draw good. What a draw. I take back whatever I said. We even got counter back up here. This is beautiful. Here we go. Now, Dispel, I do want to counter this because they can just Query and Ranger back their Sentinel, so I do want it to go back to their hand. So I'm going to go like this to Dispel. And win the game, I believe, unless they got Fog. Dispel main. This is a game 1. Boing! Yay! Woo! Okay, well, we kind of did the impossible. We won game 1, but I think our opponents... Who knows? You know, maybe they're trying to... I hate when that happens. Maybe they're trying to fit up a... what do you call... you know, answers to the metagame and such, because... Who knows if when you're brewing with elves right now, maybe you're getting tired of getting run over by kiln fiends and such, so you've got to kind of lean a little heavy in the paint, but we'll see. 5-0. Like it even matters when we're just playing kind of casual here. Alrighty. True to Nim Chimpskey fashion, he's probably brought some swarm thing to completely thwart me now knowing the deck's weakness, but we'll see. Hopefully not. Yeah, I want to play first. Another super honest hand. There's our golems. We'll keep. If he drops goblins or elves, I'm going to have a word with him. Sui Black would be another bad one. Hiya. we go. I guess we could technically foil. That to be a pretty awesome spell at this stage of the game. If we got another island, that would be really optimal here. Foil's just dead here, but I don't really want to wait around too long. I think I'll wait one more turn. Can lean on Crab, maybe. I don't like putting out a naked Golem, even though the Golem is naked by nature. What's going on in that artwork? I've always wondered that. Is it like part of the clouds? It's an awfully heavy tail. Is this some sort of pestilent brew? Come on, let us use the Crab. I sure wish that thing cycled. I see the word channel and I think cycle. So many letters are shared, but no. Alrighty, well, we get some options here. Stitchwing for sure. I guess we'll go Crab. Man, what a clunked up hand. We don't want to be foiling this at any time soon, do we? Man, really hurting for mana here. That's what happens when you win 21 basics. You get screwed. Booyah. There we go. Woo! I'm just going to play out two of these guys. They drop a pestilence, they drop it. Okay. Or double that. Can always restore that back, but usually the Crab's going to be a lot better option there. Or, you know, I'm playing 12 creatures and you bring in a kill-all deck. But we do have lots of counters, so. Cool. We can counter stuff with the Crab at this stage. They might be able to pay for it. They can't always pay 3 for that, you know. Or we could just EOT that. Sit back on that. Kind of like the Stitchwing here. No, I don't. Do I? What's going on? I can just sit on a hard foil here. Boop. I got 5 more cast downs. Let's go. I got options, I tells ya. It's funny to Stitchwing in response to one of these other boys. Alright. Sacrifice another creature. We can always snap that. I've already got a Crab back. Let's be patient. All right, that makes it a lot easier. Let's attack. The Mold Folk. Very cool. I'll hover on this one for some people. Lifelink. Sacrifice another creature or an artifact. Put a +1/1 counter on this. One, 2, 3. Won't have the foil there. Kind of a sticky situation. I'll let that through. Another Mold Folk. All right. 1, 2, 3. Get rid of this and you. Alrighty, things are looking up. Attack. Come for 5, which is really only 3 until some shenanigans start up. Restoration play sure isn't happening very often, is it? Looks like they've exhausted. I guess they had double cast down at the beginning and now they're just playing honest. That's such a thing. I'm going to pull the trigger here, guys. We'll do this. Yo. Village rights. Okay. 8 damage. Crunch. Tragic slip. No way, sucker. Mandala 23. One of our buddies will help you out there. I guess we let this go. It's going to be gaining 3 life here. Seeker of the way. Oh, that could get ugly quick. Two, 4. Let's tap their mana. Not optimal, but get them in the yard anyway. They paying for it, or are they killing something? They're paying for it. Okay, probably best case scenario. Stitchwing. We'll just hard cast it. Take that, Arrow Armada Hood. Be out of spells. Be out of spells. That Seeker's got to get Nova pretty big. I got 11 coming at him. They find the counter magic. Might not need 2 of. Of desperation, I appreciate that. I think I would have sacked the vault, but I don't know the list. Alright. All of a sudden, they're going to come roaring back. How cool would it be to be beaten with Mold Folk, right? I don't know if I even own that card. Yet. Tragic Slip. Vastly underplayed. Especially in lists with all this sacrificial stuff going on. Takes down everything in Pauper except Guardian. Come roaring back to life. Look at this. Pretty impressive. That's what happens when you play with 1-drops. I love it. Can always count on Nim for some pretty cool mid-rangey decks. Alrighty. Well, we got a nice answer there, don't we? Might buy us a turn. Those darn lifelinkers are really keeping them in it. I think we would have had the door shut by now, but oh well. Do we have any plays from the yard? We do not. If it wasn't for that Seeker, consider bouncing our own guys and just holding something back to block, but do have them at 1. Opponent's drawn 4 more cards than us. Down goes Seeker. We'll kind of let him try to go Nova again here. See if we can't bounce that. Keep us alive. Come on, tap out. A funny little picture. It's fitting for Nim being from the Netherlands. Hey, it's not that cold there. What do we have here? We've got this going to that. All right. Unfortunately, he can sack the Seeker, but it's probably not going to want to. Got any extra plays here? Ooh, that's a lot of life. No need to untap. I got nothing. Sack. Extra life. Gains 5. Do they got anything extra? Whoa, this is close. This is really close. We're dead. Pretty cool. Sacrificing lands, coming in for some sort of like almost mini Atog sort of lifelink look. How cool was that? What a match. Good job, Nim. Really cool. Nail biter down to the wire. Woo! Good times. Well. Orzhov mold. Never thought I'd write that sentence. Orzhov mold. I think I like Macabre in this match. Of course, we've only really seen on Earth. But leaning just on Snap seems a wee bit folly. Dispel's definitely coming in. I think we'll take out 2 Force Spikes again. I can always pitch the Macabre. I think I'll only bring in 2, though. You know, it'd be fun if the whole point of the deck showed up. We haven't seen this card barely at all. So much so, I'm going to tempt fate. Watch. I'm going to lose one of them, and then we'll draw all 3 of them. That's how Magic works. If you didn't know. I guess we could lose a study. Well, let's rock like this. Macabre shows up, it shows up. We can always use it for a Stitchwing bait or something else. Might be a nice little aha. Yes. Okay, I like it. We'll keep. Okay, it'd be nice to have 3 land hands. 21 basics. That should happen a little bit more often than it is today, but we're getting a lot of 2s, so we're all good. There's that. Nested Shambler. And we got a Counterspell or a Think Twice EOT. Stitchwing to Deep Analysis. Deep Analysis feels perfect in this list at the 2 spot or 2 count. Probably gonna what? Grab a Swamp. It's just, I thought a Basilica was coming down. Called that one wrong. Think twice. Ain't it nice? All right. So now we know there's a few kind of must counters. Seeker. I like to keep Mold Folk off the table, especially with double counter spells here. That way, when we do start hitting in the air, they can feel it. We still got a turn. We're not stifled all together here. Whoosh. Okay. We got the Dispel. We got the Crab. We got all kinds of goods. I guess we could Deep Analysis here and then just pitch the extra. We're not in that big of a... Now I'm just going to do it. It feels like we're losing tempo here, so I do have to get our yard activated. We haven't drawn really anything that goes to the yard here, so... Okay. Let me throw 2 cards out. We all know what those are going to be. Boom. Or just one. Somebody can't count or spell. It snuck through. That's what happens when you... Deep Analysis. Darn it. Ah, man. And I guess I could hardcast the Crab. I mean the Stitchwing, but it's probably going to just walk into removal. And as it sits now, we're very naked. I think I'm just going to counter EOT Stitchwing at this stage. I just hate the life they're going to gain here, but if we're going to lose a game today, it's cool to lose it to Nim, and a nice rogue list isn't leaning on Pestilence or... It's tough not to build the standard way, you know? And there's a reason it's a standard. It's usually the most efficient card for money sort of thing, but always venture off into the realm of the color charts. What the hell am I talking about? All right, Stitchwing, let's come on back. We're going to lose your brother-in-arms here and one of these dudes. Nice if we drew the restoration. I know we took one out in jest, but bonk. All right. Wow. We're pretty close to just doing that, right? With all this counter magic, it's tempting. I'll drop this. I'm going to actually deep analysis here. Getting dangerously low on life. Another Stitchwing. Okay. Got double counter spells. They'd have to power up 2 dudes to kill that. I think we'll just attack still. Do you imagine if Stitchwing came back untapped? That would, man. That would be just like Wizards to release something like that in a Pauper. Like, here's a really great blue card for y'all. Why'd you make it blue, Wizards? Yo. That went well. It could have definitely gotten worse. As we sit back and do this again. 2, 3. Discarding this. And maybe we just play the crab next turn? If we top deck a land, do I really want to tap out for that? I can still just get killed. Yeah, I don't want to lean on the crab that much. I'll just do this. Good grief, it's a big body, right? Here we go. You cut one and you always draw it. See? That's how these things work. So it kind of has counter mini hexproof, being in Ward 3. If they try to tragic slip that, it'll cost them 4. That feels pretty good. Do we go all in? I don't know if he can really do 7 to that. Let's risk it. We've got another Stitchwing play if we need to. That's gross. I sure like those things. You know, as much as this is about Argivian Restoration and such, it really, over time, it starts feeling like Stitchwing beats. Makes me want to brew around that a lot more. I definitely started salivating when I saw that card. I was like, oh, looks bad, but I like it. That's a hell of a problem in a deck that can just keep powering them out. It does feel like Stinkweed Imp's big brother. It's like, let me show you how it's done. Chop. Good art. Good quote. I wonder what the... Is there a regular Stitchwing? Does anybody in chat know? Funny, it's all basic Stitchwing. Boy, this is just blue wall. That's what I should call it. Dunk. Hey, first time catch you on a stream. All right, let me see if I get Anonymous, I think is how you say it. Thank you for joining us and chiming in. We're playing something I put together thanks to many minds, but I think Nichols was the main one. Sent me a list and call it Blue Re-ANIMAtor. Uses that card right here, Argivian Restoration. As you just saw us bring out that crab for 4 mana, which might win us the game here. Boy, we like that draw. Let's just keep smashing for 6. We have just got a wall of counters and options. Yeah, we just main, okay, interesting. Well, we'll try to keep things simple here with a Dispel. No, and Nimi's probably saved up 2 or 3 removals here. So glad this is on our turn. So he doesn't have the option to gain some life there. Yeah, I should have. Being kind of new to the Mirrorshell Crab I didn't want to lose because of that, though. Just to be like, oh, look, I know this technical move, but I'd rather have the sure thing. Yeah, ward is really tricky because if you don't do it right away, it just doesn't work. Should we risk it? Make sure he pays for it? Alrighty. So now we'll do that. Sorry, my friend. I do kind of have it all today. I think they played incredibly patient. But this is a blue fight. I'll probably be forced to attack with that just to stay alive, right? Oh, that won't work. Yeah, we'll say no to that too. Whoop. Boink. Just a wall of counters. Alrighty. Yeah, I don't like that I brought in Macabre. That's just bad magic. Let's bring in Force Spike. Be on the play. Snap deep, like all this, like. Boomba. Counter. I almost feel bad there because it's like played such a disciplined game. You could just tell they were just waiting for the optimal move, and then it was just like, nope. All right, we finally have a 4-land hand, which I've been kind of pining for a while. We're on the draw, though. I don't think I like this hand. I could say no to one thing, and then we're stultified. I'm going to mulligan this. All right, we'll keep this one. Don't really have... We can respond. And we've got a Force Spike, so... might be relevant. Let's open up the yard. And see what we can do here. Yay! No turn. Now I want to see Plane Seeker, so I can counter it. Plane. Plane Seeker. Pretty please. Oh, come on. Why can't I have it all? Darn it. Bloop. Cool. Especially with Force Spike back up. Boink. I'll ditch that restoration. I'm not going to hang up on it too much here. Guess we'll get rid of an island. Do we get rid of a restoration? I mean, it kind of won us the game when we were able to do that to the crab. We'll go thin. I'm not going up against land destruction here. Make sure we play. Yep. All right. I know we did. I just like double check. Oh, check this dude out. Yeah. I'll teach you to play EOT. Three is a pretty good clock. There's a better one. Snapping time. At least when we can get some counter magic behind it. Darn it. Gonna wait on that. Let's see how painful that gets. Drop Spire there, but we've seen so much removal. I really want to have at least one answer, especially at game 3. I mean, they might just be chock full of like hate. Counter. That was quite the stack that last game. This has been a fun match. That's curious. All right. Hey. Look at this. Things have changed. Got a nice restore play. Yeah, I think we snap crab counter restore. Especially if we draw into an island, we're going to be able to drop the golem too. Don't get too many lands. It's nerve-wracking. Mirrorshell Crab is so strange. I love it. Remember, it does not have cycle. That says channel. We will bounce. Get out of here. They still have to pay 5 for a Seeker. Don't like that, but okay. The problem is, if he doesn't cast another thing here, then it's like a dead turn. Oh! It is a dead turn. I wish I could cycle it. No, there goes my plan. Too much patience, I tells ya. Whoosh, whoosh. Yeah, I'll pay 1 mana for a 2/4 flying. The biggest butt in the sky. I could counter that. That'd be pretty fun. Rather just snap it. It's a pretty cool little card. I just hate investing that much. I know it has lifelink. I like the way he used it, where it was kind of like EOT and then boom, 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 kind of like like I said, like a mini Atog effect. All right, cool. 1, 2, 3. Crab's on me, and the restoration's right behind it. Woo! I wonder what's going on in this theory. This guy's kind of like leering at this artist, like, hey, like it looks like the guy in blue just stole something. Like he picked his pocket. He's like, did he see a reflection of me hoodwinking him? Ouch! I didn't even see that go down. I was looking at the art. Oh well. So we've got a choice here. I don't think it's a choice. I could bring back a 5/7 crab or a 2/4 golem. My money's on the crab. It's got built-in protection. Ah! He thwarts us with one of my favorites. Nice play, my friend. We'll pretend we've got an answer. Now that's, you know what? Now that the crab is in the format, there is a way to counter Faerie Macabre. Doesn't that work? That's an activated ability. Anyone in the chat want to rules beat me down? There we go. I like it. Against bounce, that's got to be just terrifying. Like, oh man, what's happening? It's so hard to keep up with lifelink. That would work. Like I said, I can read something 30 times. Doesn't work till I see it happen. And then it's bedrock. But different people learn different ways. That's for me. I want to check out this folk. Sacrifice another creature or an artifact. Put a +1/+1 counter on them. Pretty damn cool art, too. Corpses of those slain by the russet mold grow new moldies. Not the legacy most of us aspire to. All right. Hey, got some sort of an answer here. Looks like we're going to have our first loss here, but it's against a friend of the show and an awesome rogue deck. I would have it no other way. All right, Moldy. Guess he could do it to himself. Stop me from untapping. That'd be pretty funny. Boink, boink. Where's our Stitchwings? I will counter the Moldy. I gotta keep the stuff off the table as much as I can. Old school counter. It's got it unearth. Oh, even worse. A Seeker. Crap. I think we're dead next turn. That's comical. Mid-game top deck force spike. Oh, there's some scenarios where those come into play. You know, you get those big wall of counters and the last ditch. Aha! And then you're like, zick. That's the sound it makes. By the way, can we pull off the impossible? We only have to do 24 damage. Good job, Nim. You got us. Bom, bom, bom. I've got to use the restroom. I'll be back right after this break in just a sec. Make sure I get it right. That was a very cool list, Nim Chimpskey. I was bad-mouthing you at first, thinking you were bringing in like some ultra kill list all or whatever, but second Mold and Seeker came down. I'm like, awesome. Awesome rogue build. It had a slight Tog feel to it when that Mold in game 1, I think it was. You're able to just boop, 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 boop. When convenient. Must have been scary going up against a deck with 4 snaps, but I didn't have it. That end, I had a island and a force spike. I was just like, oh, okay. I don't know what our opponent's doing other than just staring at us. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we'll wait on the careful study force spike. Either or. Can always Stitchwing. Nim's always got sweet brews. That's pretty aggro for you, Nim. I was expecting something a little more grindy. Alrighty, well, I got all kinds of answers here. Let's careful study. Okay, we'll throw out this and think twice, I guess. Yeah, boop, boop, boop. Got 2 counters in our hand that we can play right now, but I don't think I want to. Damn Breathless Night. So trying to force that into. I've seen some good builds. I still have yet to throw my hat in the ring with it. I think I got 1 or 2, but I've just never shared them. Although, for a decade plus of bad-mouthing Terminate, there's obviously an argument to be said now with Guardians running around with all these gates, but other than that, there's still so many things that take it out. It just made Terminate slightly better. What do we have here? Swiftwater Cliffs with the new art. We might as well thwart this while we can. While we got it. Bloop. Didn't expect that, did you, Copper? Blue Re-ANIMATOR. Let's go. Sometimes we don't even have to use the reanimation card. We just keep bringing back Stitchwings like we're going to do here. Well, we can foil and still have a restoration here. I think it's better to just have Stitchwing. Then we can, if we top deck another island, we could just hardcast foil. Or we can think twice. I thought about putting in Fathom Seer to return islands to my hand, but this is starting to get a little clunky. Just wanted to keep it an honest air style deck. Okay, I think we let that one go. Sure. Go and get you some. This looks like one of those, what's that, Keep Watch, where you attack with all the goblins, draw a bunch of cards. Yeah, Nim, if you got a link to your deck, I think a lot of people would like to see that, including me. Should we start the race? I think we should. Let's bring back Stitchwing. 1, 2, 3. We'll ditch this and this. We'll draw another island. Watch, we never draw another one. Get a nice big body in the air. Be playing even for this first turn due to the life link there. You know, we could think twice into an island and pitch both things to foil if something crazy happens, but I think this is more of a setup turn from our opponent, so. But if I think twice now, they could have counter magic, but I don't miss my land drop if I do draw one. But wasn't I just talking about using it for foil? I think we'll risk the miss up here, do a DOT. What's more important? Yeah. The last game. That's right. You are goblins. Tokens. Let's see. Upkeep paid. This could be a variation on the Serpentine curve too, where you could just play a bunch of creatures and then technically spell creatures. And and then curve out. That might be an interesting way to build it. I'm really surprised that doesn't see more builds. That is a hell of a card. And plus, everybody always makes that mistake where they bring in relics and all this anti-stuff, and it says, or exile right there. It's like, oh my god, that's brutal. We only played it once on this show. Is that worthy of a foil? It might be. Let's see what we draw. Yeah, let's counter it. We want to get rid of the Stitchwing anyway, so bloop. That worked out like I knew what I was doing. There's been a few winning plays today that feel like it was worth tuning in for. Maybe it'll inspire somebody to do something cool with them. All right, never mind. There's too many critters now. Oh, that was strange. Match. All right, we got to play one more. Bloop, bloop, bloop. No quitters. Got to start blocking players that do that, just so they don't run. I don't run into them anymore. I've got quite a few of your decks in here, Cooper. There's Cooper Vamp, my version of it, and then your Black Sack here too, if you're wondering what these naming conventions are. Thanks to our buddy who made the deck White Nichols. And don't think he's here today, but we wouldn't be playing this today if it wasn't for him. Because he enlightened me into this card. I said Argivian this whole time. It's Argivian. Leave it to me to mispronounce. Let's see. Taught me two things. Always look to the past and never dismiss what appears useless. Hannah of the Weatherlight. Moldy Folk. Very cool. There it is. Hey, Nim, can you send that link to me in email too, and I'll put it in the video description in case somebody on YouTube later is like, screw this list, I want to play Nims. Yes. All right. Cool hand. Got counters for days. We'll keep. This is when sometimes I consider putting in more foils because it works so well with the discard element here. A lot of times, when you think like, I don't want a 2-for-1 myself or 3-for-1 myself, and it's like, well, when you're getting value out of the yard like that, might be kind of cool. Fufo 0. Let's go. Of course, all you got to do is rewind to the last quitter, write down their username, and block them. Enough people start doing that, and people will stop quitting games. I at least tell people sometimes, I know life happens, but I usually say like, apologies, gotta go to dinner. I don't know, something, this package arrived, something. At least let them know. We will sit on Counterspell. Really liking this hand. We can counter 2 things on turn 2. And there's no force spikes involved. Should we thwart them just to do it? I say so. Huzzah! I might want to get the Stitchwing going right now. I want to do that. Do I? Now I'll just counter it. No development for you. I don't mind those plays, especially with double counter, but being that it's the very beginning of the turn, a lot of times those are kind of lands or hands you keep because you're like, oh, I can just do this into that. Been there myself. But sometimes can really throw sand in the gears. Discard 2 cards. Okay, well, we'll discard that. I hate to lose a snap, but we're gonna. Yeah. Stitchwing. Make sure. There we go. All right. We'll see what we get. Very slow roll here. Can't really do much about a foretold card. I think we just play land, sit on foil. We can just hard cast it now. More likely to do the crab with Force Spike back up. See how the math works? Good times. Stitchwing showing up. Let's stop creatures and ramp. I want to get this in the yard anyway. Blop. It's like, what is this? All the deck does is counter. It tends to do stuff pretty well. I have so many counters if you think. We get another island, it's just like bloop, 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 bloop. Auto quit. Been a really fun day. Thanks for joining me, everybody. We're still not done. Lots to do. We can Stitchwing here. Well, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Kind of like that. We're going to be seeing some big stuff. I do not want to lose snap, so this is kind of a given. Let's just draw on a restoration right now. Nope. Okay. I mean, we can just hard cast that, but yeah, we'll just hard cast it. Let's get the clock going. 7 to go. Boy, I like that Stitchwing. Should I like it that much? You know, I honestly think if it didn't have such cool art and quote, I probably would like it less. All right. I got in trouble the last time I let one of those through, remember? I gotta assume they're on the dinosaurs, though, so... Alrighty, that is a lot of lands. That's why I play them. Happy to have them. If I top deck a crab, we're still one away, so I'll play it. So we can double answer now. Given that's our only offense, I'm going to counter that. We don't really care if that thing dies, especially if we keep drawing islands like this. Of all the things to die, it's kind of cool because technically in a lot of scenarios you can just play it right back. I'd like to get to 7 islands and then hold and then just use them for Stitchwing or any other cannon fodder, foil. All right. Yeah, we're giving our opponent way too much time here. It would have been really nice to reanimate a crab and just have the beats, but that's optimal. Right now, we're just playing standard fare. Down it comes. That's a clock that's scary. Still think we hold the snap. They're getting dangerously close to kaboom spells. Incoming! Oh, that'd be funny if we can just force spike that big old dino. Just be like, boink! Take that. Alright, we're going to be going to 11 next turn. Unless I snap one of those, which I might. I might consider. Cadence of the turn. I should put unstable mutation in this list. I gotta be walking on eggshells. Foil, Mirrorshell Crab, Force Spike, Counterspell, all in the yard. It's like, damn. Well, if they had the big dude, they would have played him. Everything with Basilisk Gate. Yeah, it does come out of the blue, literally. Figuratively, I should say. I think I'm going to snap one of these. Now they're going to get some extra value here, but I want to keep my life total a little healthier than that. And imply that I've got other options. Playing this kind of blue, you know, I'm used to decks where I can usually gain some life. You've got a stock 20 and that's it. And you're chewing into it with deep analysis. They get a card out of the deal. We get tempo. Might not be enough. We've got to start drawing something relevant. It'd be really nice to draw our key card, the Restoration. Argivian, I think it's pronounced, if I remember how I spelled it last time. Yeah, I like that. Or Persistent Specimen. That's always a good one, too. There's the worst card. Snap feeling good now. Kind of kept everything going there. Cool. We got a blocker, folks. Very relevant. Not bad for free. Don't know if I should block, but I probably will. We've seen Cast Down and Terminate. And now the turn ends. Yep. This is really when we needed our counter magic. This is when Force Spike's so fun. And here comes Terminate. I was hoping to take down the wing. We can at least bring that back if we draw dead twice. But so we lose this game. It's going to take a lot to come out of this one. I mean, we can block those pack mates for days. But they've got burn and removal. Let's see what we draw. Restoration, please. Nope. Okay. Could hard cast a crab if we draw one. That would be trippy. But that's Force Spike I actually like in this matchup because once you get to that Altasaur math, you're like, it's Christmas morning. There's that much very rare that you're going to wait till you have 10 mana. Good for them playing aggro. And we're dead. Is ramp again. Second ramp deck today. All right, let's see what we can do here. I like Dispel a lot in this one. I'll lose a study. Have you ever played a foil-centric deck? You mean the card foil? We're playing one right now. Or foils. I don't like foils. They're distracting and a render nuisance. I'm going to get rid of all of our careful studies. We're just going to lean on a honesty. What the hell that means. Let's go. Blue Reanimator. Technically 4-1. Wink, wink. Minus a quitter. But we're playing the rest of the matches here. All right, we got our combo piece. We don't have our crab in hand, but we'll keep. We can stop a lot of early shenanigans here. Oh yeah, we've done a lot of foil builds. Usually with illusion-based stuff. Bouncing islands with Fathom Seer. A lot of quick, evasive blue critters. Had some success with it. Also had quite a bit of mediocrity outings too. That's to be... I think foil's value is going to rise over time, obviously. I mean, that's nothing groundbreaking. There's going to be more and more synergies, and then it's going to be one of those where it's like, whoa, that really went up in price. Not at the cost of tempo, though, so I'll play that one. I say, if there's ever a creature that counts as an island, that would be pretty sweet. We got nothing. Let's go. Oh boy, really wanted to draw an island there. All right. Well, at least we could stop stuff from happening. Good news is if we draw dead again and don't hit an island, we can at least pitch analysis and have extra stuff for later. I have 21 basics in this, and the majority of the day, if I've been complaining about anything, it's been being screwed. I'm going to do this while I can with this just to stop shenanigans. Feels so good to force spike somebody. Feels so bad to get force spiked. Come on, list. Not like this. I'd understand being flooded with 21 basics. Not screwed. Add in a draw element too. It gets a little unnerving. I'm just going to keep shit off the board. Sorry, I'm hitting a record today. Getting frustrated. Let's draw some damn cards. There we go. Thank God. If I play the Spire Golem, I kind of like that line. It's going to kind of take their turn to kill it if from the cards we've seen of Cast Down and Terminate, and it'll buy us an extra turn. And then we, yeah, I like that. I can always restore it out of the yard. I mean, I hate doing that. I think I've done it once. I think it was a game I lost. Use my counterspells a little aggressively here just to try to stay in this game because our mana is really fighting us. Okay. I mean, we... like where we're at a lot more than being at like 14 life right now. Alrighty. Island's good? No. Keep fighting us, deck. Really liking Deep Analysis. I usually don't like that card. I mean, I respect it and I know it's a good card, but I tend to not build with it very often. It's another one where the old art is really awful. It looks like a child drew that. Offense intended to the artist. Take that. All right. There we go. Ugh, my goodness. Deep Analysis, I guess. Me, please. Watch, they've hydroblasted. Okay, we got some options now. Now we can foil, throw out Stitchwing, bring it back. Really like to see our crab show up. We have played a land, right? Yeah. That's how we got there. We might even go up to 3 Deep Analysis. I just don't know what I would lose. Maybe 1 force spike. I just love having a full set of force spikes. Oh, is that the artist? Yeah. Oh, I haven't seen the rest of his portfolio, but judging on that work, I hope he's not working anymore, or switch careers, I should say. Come on, Crab. Where you at? Okay, that's pretty cool. Gosh, we could just hard cast Stitchwing, right? Is that the play? Or just if we restore, let's restore. I hate this play, but I've got Counterspell backup twice. I know I should. It just shows how little I play it. I'm just like, yeah, I'll just squint when I play it. Yeah, I know I gotta swap my snap artwork and the other one. There's an ego to me too, where it's like I want to show how long I've been playing this, so I play with the oldest cards, and it's like I should. As much of a art jerk as I am, I ought to spend a little time and focus on that. Alrighty, 2, 4, 5. We can foil that. Boop, Island and Stitchwing. Be fun if they recast that at a later turn and we can force spike it. Oh, such justice. Blue justice. Sounds like a bad cop show in the 80s. Ouch! Well, that one's going to work. Darn it. It works. I can just restore it again. That'd be funny as hell. Given the opponents at one card, that might be worthy of consideration, except when you do this. That's way funner. We'll rock here. I think we just do it. Let's go for it, man. Screw it. Want to kill him 3 times? Let's go. I mean, I know he's got an edict. Probably should have 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, should have definitely ate one of those. Bye bye, Golem. Down it goes. Now we draw crab. We're getting to that point though where we can almost okay. So you got a gut shot. Mutagenic. Bluff. More likely. Attacking ends. Advanced Stitchwing. Oh, things just got interesting. 2 turns away from that shenanigans. Let's analyze ourselves. Ugh. That's awkward. All right. Feels like we can win this game, but it's getting close. They're going to be able to pay for the crab, so I'm more interested in stitchwinging here. Don't like that. I make him pay 3. He does. It might gum up the turn a bit. I can snap it. That's probably better. I'm going to snap. Boink. Yeah, if I would have played a little smarter, I think Force Spike would have been super relevant last turn. I just went all out with the golems and going like, oh crap, he's got that Chainer's Edict. Come on, play something else. Let's go. So now if I snap this and he recasts it, I can crab and then I'll be all right. But to what end, right? I mean, that's yeah, let's snap here. We still got our golem play. I just want to only at 6 life. This isn't good. He thought you could tell that little hesitation, like, oh, can that stitchwing? Oh wait, no, it comes into play tapped. Okay. So I'm hoping he hardcast this. All right, he doesn't. So we can stitchwing anyway. 1, 2, 3. I'll get rid of. I guess we lean on 4 spikes at this stage of the game. Hey, there's a card. Bloop. 2 counters in our hand. One can be dealt with pretty easily. Hiya! Let's attack. 7 turns to go. Stitchwing. Advanced Stitchwing. This isn't your basic Stitchwing like your grandma used to make. We're 1 dinosaur away from losing. Can happen pretty easily. I kind of want to just hard drop. We got to remember we've played 2 Argivian Restorations in a very lackluster fashion. Now our crab shows up. So we probably want to lean on hardcasting that if we drop 2 more islands. Now with even more reanimation. I know Stitchwing doesn't even need help. He's like, hey, need to throw something in the yard? I'm your guy. What is this? Of course he has 3. Son of a gun. Should I make him pay for it in case he draws an answer? No. He's probably going to draw the answer and then we'll be able to counter it. Leave our Dispel at home for the who's at home. Oh, okay. Can be okay against us. I don't know if it's... This is one of those lists, a lot of times you can build something that uses the graveyard but doesn't really lean on it. I feel like this is right on the fence there where... Can't blame somebody for bringing in graveyard hate, but it's like, kind of a suboptimal. I'm sure it could definitely always could be relevant. But all right, one more island and we're in Good Town. Good Town, USA. Where we cast Mirrorshell Crabs for their real cost. Or you don't pay. What I'd rather lose. Hit for 2. If I'm going to lose one of these, let's come on over. If he's got a bolt, and we've got the Dispel for it, it's thinking that if we trade with the Llanowar, not trade, but if we kill the Llanowar and he comes in really aggro next turn. Curious. Yeah, unfortunately, we've been reanimating the wrong things today. These Spire Golems are supposed to be played for 1 or 2 mana. Or free. Sure. Yeah, I guess we do that. Just thinking way too deep in the weeds. Like, do they have Crypt Incursion? At this stage of the game, is Argivian Restoration worth getting rid of? Or not relying on? Kill the Golem? Save 3 life? What is this? No! Oh, man. Yeah, this just... That crab, all we got to do is draw... All we got to do is draw land. The most probable thing, but our deck's been kind of screwing us today, so... Can't say that. Technically, we're keeping score. We would have done the 4-1 dance, but... Feeling really good. It's like 10% away from maybe even having the balls to enter a league. I'm not sure. Probably not. Hey! Here's something our opponent. Please no Hydroblast. We've gotten to that stage. No! Oh, the humanity. It serves us right for playing all these force spikes. They've got to love that move. Just like, take that, you damn blue mage. Oh, sweet justice. Well, we could always get another restoration showing up. That was a awfully timed spell there, man. Woo. That was, yeah, I was just like, man, anything but this. We're just dead on board here. I don't know why they're... I guess they're just finding options. You gotta come over with all the friends, don't you? Alright, that's a strange choice. Seeing as how I can bring that one back. Maybe they got an answer. Hey, there's the answer. Talk about answers, boy. We need one. No spells. Something with mirth. Oh, God. Comical. Talk about the best 2 turns I've seen in probably 6 months. Crucial counter. And then crucial graveyard hate when we top deck the one thing that could bring us back to the game. Good on you, opponent. That was pretty awesome. We'll scoop here and call it a day, folks. Thanks for joining me. This is a blue Reanimator list. We'll go over the cards here in case anybody just joined us a little bit late, as I always like to do. Jump on over here. I think it's an awfully cheap deck, other than maybe like, I think these can get a little bit pricey, but you can always change that up. But yeah, really, really liking it. Feels pretty good right where it's at. I'm not all these cards I've got 3 ofs or 2 ofs. I'm like, oh, maybe I should, always trying to make it the purest list possible. But I really like where this sits. So, that type part of the show where we ask this. Well, in that case, I didn't learn anything. I just learned that I like this list a lot. Thanks to Nichols for giving me the initial idea for it. And hope you guys like it. It's a lot of fun. Again, it's one of those lists that you should probably put on a little bookmark of just like, I'm burned out, I'm tired of the same old, and that's a lot of times what we do here at this show, right? But anyway, I'll be online as always most of the weekend, and hope to see you. Maybe not playing this, but if you do, I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you next time, everybody, as we head on out. See you next week.
Banana.